Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks bringing you your daily Tesla report for Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025. Let's take a look at the chart. Start with the weekly chart, the big picture. We bottomed out at this 400.02 channel bottom about 4 weeks ago, and the following week as well, 3 weeks ago. It is our base of support through the rest of the year and through the first quarter, really. Above 400.02, we are anticipating 528.94 as a, I'm going to call it a 2 to 3 month target, possibly by the end of Q1. Just is worth noting that we tested the channel top. 400.02 has a channel top that is converging with 528.94. And following the testing of that channel top, which is about 2 months ago, we mentioned how within 1 or 2 months we actually could test the channel bottom. That has been what's happened. Holding above 400.02, your 2 to 3 month time frame remains bullish, anticipating 528.94 as an objective. And inside of that, we do have, this 2 to 3 week dynamic. I'm looking for the right chart right now, and I'm just going to pick this one. This is it here. We've got a two-sided framework really between 398.49, which is that same channel bottom on the daily chart that we find on the weekly chart at 400.02, above which this 451.54 formation is a 2 to 3 week objective. We could trade inside of that area for the next, few weeks perhaps. I'm looking for, here we are. Yeah, that's it. I guess we don't have exactly what I'm looking for, but you're buying the upper 390s, low 400s, and you're selling the 450s if you're a 2 to 3 week swing trader. That's really what I'm trying to say here. Maybe you're still long from a few weeks ago when we were testing this rising channel bottom that is now 398.49 and holding out for 451.54, and that is really the play as a 2 to 3 week swing trader. Inside of that, we do have this 3 to 5 day pivot point at 430.31 that we've certainly pushed through a bit over the last couple of trading days, Friday and Monday, but we've not yet really closed above it. If we did close above it on Friday, it was by such a narrow margin. I know that I said unreliable as an up pivot, as an indication for 451.54. But if we do close clearly above 430.31 today, 451.54 is likely within the week. There's obviously the possibility that we open above 430.31. We just sort of take off. There is a 5/8 Fibonacci on the way up, 439.20, that can give the market trouble on an intraday, possibly for the entire day basis. So know that if we push through or open above 430.31, it is 439.20 that is the intraday objective, and just might contain buying pressures for the balance of the day. But if we do close above 430.31, I think you can anticipate by Friday the 451.54 formation where we could top out through next week, fall back into the upper 380s or 390s rather. We could fill this wedge out for the next few weeks before the market tips its hand in one direction or another. Probability would suggest that would be above 451.54. This given the longer term upward push that remains in effect above 400.02. So if over the next few weeks, over the next week or two, we happen to settle above 451.54, we can anticipate upward continuation into this low 500 region. The rising channel top that I mentioned earlier is at 504.03 and climbing by the end of the year into the 520s. So that is realistic that if we close above 451.54, what is a 2 to 3 month target roughly at 528.94 could be as little as 3 to 5 weeks. 528.94 is a significant.
If you're finding value in this analysis, it's only a glimpse of what we offer. Your real trading edge starts at wickedstocks.com. Each week, premium members receive 2 high-probability stock picks. Each one comes with a complete trade plan, including exact entry, profit target, stop loss, and regular updates so you can manage the trade with confidence. You'll also get daily video analysis in the top traded markets, the SPY, the Triple Q, and NVIDIA, highlighting the key price levels, trends, and trade setups we're focused on. Whether you're day trading or swing trading, these insights help you zero in on the highest quality opportunities with clarity. Try it all free for 5 days. Cancel at any time.
long-term resistance area on the weekly chart that spans almost 6 years, and it may well contain buying not only on a quarterly but through 2026 basis if tested, and it is expected above 400.02. Now for the downside, it really is a violation of 400.02. That would be a long-term sell signal. But let me cover the day, which is why most of you, I think, are tuning in anyway. And that is, if you can see this chart, maybe squint a bit, there is a rising channel bottom over the last 4 days of activity at 420.90. I see that as our aggressive downward pivot point into later week. I don't think it just might contain daily selling pressures, of course, but because I consider 430.31 to be the stronger of these two, I'm keeping it session containment, 420.90, just intraday support. And yet, if we do close today below 420.90, we've got a good high for the week. Over the next 2 to 3 days, we fall back into this 398.49 area where we can bottom out, as I say, through the rest of the year and even through the first quarter. This is a 8-month channel bottom, able to contain selling through Q1 and above, which 528.94 likely over the next 2 to 3 months. Now, if we do close the week below 400.02, and that would need to be by a 1% margin of 396.02, then we enter a significant sell signal that should, within 2 or 3 months, yield 313 even. This is roughly a 5/8 downside Fibonacci. There's a rising 2/3 speed line, but I think the Fibonacci there, the 5/8 from the April low against that recent October high, is around 313.5. So it's in the same neighborhood. Closing below this upper 390s does set up 313 even as a 1 to 2 month target. I say 2 to 3 months. It looks like it on the weekly chart, but when you open it up on the daily chart, I would expect a spike in volatility. 366.75 likely within a full week of activity, and over the next month or two, 313 even. And I will say again what I've said in the past, and that is that if we do violate 400.02, given these incredible waves that we've seen over the last year, that there is the very real threat that this can continue unwinding all the way in the low 200s. So much so that I think you can play that, whatever that might mean to you. Maybe it's reaching for 200 strike out of the money puts that don't expire. I consider this to be probably like a 6-month move. If it were to play out, it could be even shorter, like a 3 to 4 month move, as we saw from December to April, 4 or 5 month move, I should say. So that is what is possible with a settlement below 400.02. But history does not have to repeat itself. We could bottom out at 313 even on a quarterly basis and turn up from here into later year. That is certainly one possibility. So maybe a stair-step approach is the better approach, but I'm just sort of giving you the heads up. If you're an investor in Tesla, I think holding, or rather closing below 400.02 is an indication to lighten up just a bit on that investment, because you could see appreciable declines in price over the following 2 to 3 months to 313 even, and potentially into later year into the low 200s. I think that pretty much rounds it out. I am going to leave it at that. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. Take advantage of our 5-day free trial. I will be back on, tomorrow with Wednesday's Tesla. You have a great night.